Well, as we reported earlier today, November 22nd marks the 60th anniversary of the assassination of President Kennedy.
40 years ago today, we traveled to Richland Center to mark the 20th anniversary, and for many residents there, JFK held a special place in their hearts.
To the 5,000 residents of Richland Center, John F. Kennedy was flesh and blood. They talked to him, they shook his hand. Today, they remember back to 1959, September 25th, when candidate Kennedy paid them a visit. It was big news then. Presidential candidates don't usually come around here. They don't spend time at your house. But John Kennedy did. He stopped by Pete and Arlene Athanas' house. They remembered.
He was a very articulate man, very attractive, real personality.
After we met him, we realized he was just another person, human being with special qualities.
It was a short visit, but Kennedy stayed long enough to write a note to their 6-year-old son. Arlene says it seems like yesterday. Then they came to a big party here at the old Park Hotel. 20 years have taken their toll on the once elegant park. Joe Kelch was a reporter for the local radio station back then. He interviewed Kennedy.
They just were charming people.
Just past noon, 4 years later, November 22nd, 1963, just after the church bells rang through the Richland County hills, Joe had finished his noon newscast on WRCO radio. 20 years ago today, he remembers.
Bell rang incessantly on the machine, the UPI machine, and I went over the teletype, and I read, and I have the copy here. 3 shots were fired at President Kennedy's motorcade today in downtown Dallas. And flash, just almost instantaneously, Kennedy seriously wounded, perhaps seriously, perhaps fatally, by assassin's bullet. And then you had to go and read that on the air, and I choked up, but I got it through somehow.
For Pete and Arlene and Joe, and for all of us, this all seems so long ago, and it seems like yesterday.
I think of him often, and it was a very devastating time, I think, for us when he was assassinated. We felt close to him after having met him.
He epitomized so much about the American people. It was a very, very sad time in our lives.
It was a very sad time. I was in 2nd grade, and I remember it so clearly.
Well, and then the conversations with those folks, I mean, obviously they were still feeling it deep. What was it, 20 years after
20 years
that
after,
story?
yeah. So, day in history.